Hi, everybody. Welcome into another episode of the PHNX Suns podcast. I'm Lindsay. That's Saul. That's Gerald. That's Flex. And day 3 of Suns training camp has come and gone. You guys happy that we get to talk about what players are doing basketball-wise now and not just all the off-the-court shenanigans anymore?
I'm so very happy we get to talk about basketball and not this columnist wrote this about the Suns or all that bullshit. It's nice.
Or like, you know, who should be on the Olympic team. And
here he goes. Here he goes. He's right though. He's right. I'm glad we could talk basketball. This is my wheelhouse. So I don't like all the other stuff.
Just to fill in people. Like
I didn't mean to set you up for that.
We're not going to get started.
We had a heated debate.
Yeah, we had a heated debate about complex. Them saying like, you know, 5 or 6 players that they think would be on the Olympic team, and Booker was not part of that 6. And we got into a debate as to why or why not. But we're not going to go to. Yeah, we're just not going to get into it.
The Shady Rays ad is
it
later.
Was like from the drive from here to Costco and back. We talked about it. So I was like, that's a full episode by itself.
That it really is.
And it really wasn't a talk. It was both of us yelling at each other.
I 100% have the full picture in my head already.
I almost stopped the car.
Listen, all we need to know about the Olympics and Devin Booker is that he'll do it.
Yeah, he'll be there.
He'll do it.
He'll be there.
And he'll start too.
He's probably going to start.
Yeah.
Unless Anthony Davis is healthy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Let's talk about Suns training camp. We'll start first with Devin Booker because after today's what?
You hear what that bio said? Lindsay going to a Jodeci concert after this? No, I can't unsee it.
I don't know what that is.
Your boots. The jeans.
What's wrong with this? I was already self-conscious about these jeans.
I love it.
Because they are far lighter than I thought they looked in real life and not what I normally wear. Thanks for that.
Just feeling.
Gilbert.
Oh, yeah.
I like the jeans. I don't get it.
I like the whole fit. It looks good.
So about training camp.
You know who else looks good? The Phoenix Suns in training camp.
They do.
After today, Frank Vogel was talking about how Devin has helped set the tone defensively for this week of training camp. And of course, then Devin was asked about Frank Vogel's comments. And here's what Devin had to say.
If you don't know that by now, man, you just relate. You know what I'm saying? I think we're over that perception where, you know, I don't get after it on that end because, you know, it's important playoff basketball. If you can't do it, you have to be off the court. And we've stressed that and we've done it at a high level.
Come back, sorry. I'm so sorry.
What the fuck just happened here?
We're back.
What?
The clip is over.
Emma just didn't give us a heads up. She just came right back. She was like, that's it. That's all you get.
I see everybody's in peak form today.
Oh, my goodness. But listen, it's no surprise that that's how he responded initially to talking about Devin playing defense. Like, he knows he's been doing it for a while. Anybody who's questioning it is doing it intentionally or not paying enough attention. One of the two.
This is the second time that Vogel has mentioned at training camp that Devin's been getting after it on the defensive end. Like, today was just the first one where he specifically was like, Book and KD are leading the charge and setting the tone for us defensively. And that's huge. I know, you know, it's a very cliche thing. Like, when your top players are getting after it defensively, everyone follows suit. But like on a team, when you have this many new players and guys coming from different teams, a couple of them just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Like, it really is important to set that level of cohesion and make sure everyone's on the same page. So, this is something that Book's been aware of. It's a narrative that he's been fighting the last couple of years. And it's funny because the national side of things and everybody outside of a certain city, it feels like narratives are slow to change. They change like a year or so after they should have already changed.
I wish you were in a car for Costco's. I swear, bro. I swear. I wish you were in the car, bro.
Oh
Just
my
rewind
goodness
that.
gracious.
You know what? I'll tell you this much. You got KD, you got Book, and you got Beal. All those guys are super talented offensively. It's hard to break the ties offensively. What I know for a fact is that those three guys internally are trying to one-up each other on defense right now. And that's a great thing. Like, Book is saying, okay, I'm going to be the better defender of us three. KD saying, well, BS, I'm going to do it. And you heard Bill say it the other day. And that's because you got three guys that know what they bring on the offensive end. Now, how do you separate who's the best guy or who's the guy on that team on the defensive end? And I think they're going to push each other all year, which is a great thing.
I mean, listen, I think on the defensive end, they're challenging each other, telling each other you got to get on up, and keep going after it. And like, I think that's something that's needed. Like, you need to be a good defensive team to win a championship this year. So, you certainly don't want, Booker to look at somebody and be like, hey, come and talk to me, because that'll be a problem.
And I think that's why I'm so excited for this season, because we already know offensively what this team is going to look like for the most part, especially at least with the big three. But then when you look at who is leading the charge as far as defensive effort, being the guys in that big three, nobody's going to be allowed to slack off.
Yep.
Because if they're holding their own and doing what they do offensively and night in and night out bringing the effort defensively, you slack off one time and it's on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to let each other know.
Yeah, as they should.
Yeah,
But I think that just shows a lot, because a lot of times you'll see, a star player who maybe doesn't, quote unquote, need to bring that much effort defensively because of what they do offensively. And they've got teammates around them who will pick up the slack. But there's not going to be any slack to pick up from at least guys like Devin Booker. We know that for sure.
No, and that's huge, because they do have a lot of guys that are defensive specialists, like Okogie, like Jordan Goodwin. Saban Lee is a guy whose name has come up multiple times. Josh Okogie the other day described, driving into the paint like being in a jungle because of all the length that they have. And so even though they don't have a ton of size, as long as they bring the physicality and the length, that's going to close off passing lanes. It's going to get deflections, steals, that type of thing. And that can help make up for, rotational miscues and stuff like that.
Lately, I've had the feeling that this team is going to be elite defensively. Don't ask me why. It's just a gut feeling. I feel like people just kind of dismiss it because they're such a good, they are expected to be such a good offensive team. But I really I just think that they're going to be an elite defensive team.
I agree. I agree. I feel it. I'm with you. I think they could be a top 10 team.
Fiending to play some defense.
Yeah. KD takes it serious, man. Like, KD really takes it serious. How he's perceived on defense. Like, I think KD thinks he's the best defender on the team. And this year we're going to see a lot of that dog in KD. But he loves talking about what he does on defense, because everybody talks about how great he is offensively. He'll be quick as hell to remind you and say, man, I play defense.
Yeah, don't forget.
Don't forget I play defense. So, yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's been kind of cool to see some of the quotes come out this week so far from all the guys getting to know one another, getting to really know and understand their coach as well, and the entire staff out there. And Jusuf Nurkic, he had some fun things to say about being able to play with the big three and what that's been like.
Being competitive, a lot of guys getting know each other, especially for me. I'm probably the newest guy here with a few guys, but enjoying, man. It was really fun. I look at yesterday and today. I'm coming down. Down the floor, and Devin Booker has the ball, and I'm running and see, like, playing pick and roll with D Book. But the other corner, I got KD and then Bradley Beal. I'm saying, God damn, man. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, but the spacing and everything, as a big and as someone who loves passing, it's really fun to be out there.
I think it's safe to say he's pretty excited about the situation he's found himself in.
Yeah. I think so. And it's not just him too, because we heard from Grayson Allen, and they've both been talking about, like, when we run our pick and roll action with 2 of those 3 or 2 of those 4, and you've got me in the corner or Nurkic rolling or another guy on the backside, like, that defender is going to have an impossible decision to make, like, in a split second about, okay, do I stop the rolling big because Nurk can take it all the way, but he can also pass out to the corner. Then we got to rotate there. But Grayson Allen can pump fake and drive because he's good at that. Like, it's just a kind of trickle down effect that defenses are going to have a real problem with.
Yeah, no, it's scary. It's scary. Like, Saul, how's your knee feeling?
Not good.
Not good? You can't do it?
No.
Because I think healthy Saul, you can play on this team.
No.
Like, they're that good. I'm serious. This is one of those teams that they're so damn dynamic that those type of role players, they look at the game and they see how it's evolving and they see what's going on, and they can't believe it.
I do appreciate the love and the confidence that you have in me.
I think you can do it.
No, I appreciate that.
Ice up, bro. They might need it.
I'm just letting you know, like, no. Just not even.
Just no. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I take one step and my Achilles would shatter.
Oh, no.
That would be
damn,
so not great.
Never mind then, bro. I didn't know it was that
Never mind,
serious.
you stay right where you are.
Are you okay? And do you need a
I mean, I think it's about to pull right now, so I'm just, I'm just holding
I'll
on
get
for
you
dear
water
life.
for the rest of the season. When you need some, I'll get it for you.
It's a hard life out here, man.
You're going to start rolling up to post-game shows with your knees wrapped with ice.
Yep.
With a walker
Sure
with the tennis balls under it. Like, walk. Come on,
I have
man.
an ice pack soon in my back.
Oh, no. Well, we're learning more about the new guys, but so is Coach Frank Vogel. Here's what he had to say about Nurk.
Yeah, physicality. He's one of the guys on our team that should most nights be able to dominate his matchup with physicality, and that's the one thing that I love about him. Obviously, he's a great passing big man. He's got a great feel for that stuff. We can throw to him in the post, and he can score on his own, and then he can finish in rolls as well. And obviously, he's played a lot over the last few years in the pocket when Dame's getting double teamed. And we have guys that are going to draw that type of attention as well. So he's very experienced there. And then defensively, just the size at the basket and being an elite defensive rebounder. He's going to help us secure the boards and get our guys out on the break.
Y'all are too much, man. Yo, Eli in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Flex Girth saw who wins in horse. I love y'all, man. Nobody beats me in horse. Let's do it.
I just wish you guys would have heard Saul's laugh when we were coming back. That was really funny. Gerald, Devin also had some nice things to say about Jusuf Nurkic today at practice. You want to share with the class?
Yeah, I asked him because at Media Day, Nurk had mentioned that Book told him, you're a point guard now. So I followed up with him about that, and he was saying, like, yeah, he can be the secondary point guard in a way when we run a pick and roll, and if they trap me out of that, I can kick it to him in the short roll, and he's going to be able to make a play on the backside to the corner or attacking the basket. So I think based on everything that we've heard from Book, from Ishbia, James Jones, Vogel, everybody involved, the Suns really value that playmaking ability in the short roll. And it makes sense because they have 3 guys that you can run pick and rolls with that could get double teamed out of those just to try and force the ball out of their hands. So having Nurkic in that spot, even though he's not a better player than DA, he's going to be able to do a lot more than DA used to in those situations. And so Book was pretty complimentary of his passing ability and his basketball IQ and being able to see the play ahead of time and know where he needs to put the ball. Just
another reason why I think the Suns front office collectively all decided this was the best option for them moving forward. At Media Day, that was the buzzword was fit. Mm-hmm. It was all about fit. And I think when you have a big 3 like you have with this team, it's more important than who could be the 4th. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it'll be interesting to see how this all shapes out, because what we're hearing so far and in theory should be pretty great.
Yeah, we actually have a Blazer fan in the chat. It's a Blazer fan here rooting for you guys. Take care of Nurk and Nas and Keon for us.
Thanks, Justin.
So, like, at a minimum, they were fan favorites, which you could probably make the argument that DA wasn't a complete fan favorite by a portion of this fan base. So, I think styles make fights, and I think fits for some players are just better for others than they are others. That sounds really stupid, but it's just,
But we get it.
We get what you're
But
saying.
like, I just didn't think DA was the perfect fit for this offense and for this team. And Nurk appears to be right now in training camp. We'll find out in the regular season when the rubber meets the road. But I'm excited for Nurk because I do think there is definitely something to be said. When you're talking about DA, the biggest letdown about DA was the fact that he didn't get up and give you everything he had in the middle of the playoffs, especially this year. Like there was not a point in time where you could point to a game and be like, yeah, you know what I mean? He kind of let you down. Nurk is going to have that opportunity, and he's going to have an opportunity to show out, and hopefully this is the switch that flips for him to be as consistent as we need him to be for this team. So I'm excited for him. Hey, anytime you get a fresh start, it's always a good thing to kind of reset everything and start all over.
I mean, in our history, we've seen this play out multiple times. We've seen multiple players that weren't good fits on their other team and then come to Phoenix and thrive. So I don't understand why, like, we don't connect that enough. Like, Boris Diaw couldn't play with Atlanta. He came and won, six-man of the year, most improved player of the year, first year in Phoenix. Josh Okogie last year was a different Josh Okogie than we saw in Minnesota, right? So fit matters. I mean, sometimes these guys are just like Nasty Nas. I'm telling you right now, Nasir Little's going to ball this year. He is going to be terrific. And people are going to sit back and say, where the hell was this guy in Portland, and how the hell did the Suns get him? Yeah. So fit matters. Those are the guys that are going to benefit. I think Nurk is a tremendous fit. And people are going to be surprised midway through. They're going to be like, damn, Suns were smart. So at least that's what I think.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing with Nurk, because people have brought up two big concerns. Obviously, the defensive side of the floor being that anchor, rim protector, et cetera. And then, motivation, focus, kind of some of the similar complaints that we had about DA from time to time here. I think playing for a team like this, you can hear it in Nurk's voice the same way as Bradley Beal. Like, he understands the opportunity in front of him, and I think he will be locked in, just as long as he's not playing too many minutes and getting gassed. But I think for him, like, the passing is going to be huge, and the defensive side of the floor, you're hoping that you can get stops because the defensive rebounding will be able to close those and push the tempo like we've talked about. Vogel's been kind of coy about how they're going to use him, but he's been saying all we need for Nurk is to execute our scheme. So we're going to see what that scheme looks like exactly when we finally get some actual games in front of us. But for now, he keeps emphasizing the physicality that Nurk brings to the table, and hopefully that'll be enough.
That's interesting. Justin had a good point. Nas rules. Fans in Portland were
mad last year.
Can't see. Sorry,
he didn't get enough
minutes. No, that's what I'm hearing. I mean, that kid can play, man, and his character's impact. Yo, guys, y'all gonna love. You know what, Linz? Low key, dark horse.
You think?
You're a baby,
sweet baby angel.
Sweet baby angel.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Baby sweets.
No. This guy's a terrific young man. I'm telling you, super high character, hard worker, terrific young man. He's got a good heart. Just wants to get healthy and play ball. So I think he's gonna be a fan favorite.
All right, we do have a super chat. This one is from Bobby Cox. Thank you, Bobby. They said, "Hi, Lindsay, Saul, Gerald, and Flex. Saul, when I mentioned earlier about the freaks come out at night, I meant the Suns haters, not you and Eddie. So I got y'all's back, even you, Flex, and you, Linz."
No,
that says Linlin.
No. He said, and
which
you,
is
Linlin.
now what we're going to call you moving forward.
Linlin?
Bobby, I appreciate that. That's two super chats from Bobby today.
Thank you, Bobby.
Earlier today, I didn't understand the context, so thanks for clearing that up. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and if you guys were wondering where the other super chat was, it was Saul and Eddie's show. That went live earlier this morning. So if you missed that, you can find it on our YouTube page. And you can watch that one after today's show.
It was one of my favorite ones, to be honest.
Apparently, Eddie said some crazy shenanigans.
Some off the wall shit as usual. He just doesn't understand shoe culture.
What was that about? Shoe culture.
What he said?
He was basically he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand why people get hyped about that. Also, Philip Fry you can be an asshole somewhere else. We don't need you here.
I don't understand how he doesn't understand shoe culture.
I don't understand it either.
Like it's just a thing.
He's from
Chicago. I said Grayson Allen was wearing the same shoes that I was wearing today. He was wearing Giannis's, these exact Giannis's.
You played with Giannis last year.
Yeah, so he probably has a shit ton
Right.
of Giannis's, right? And then he just started throwing out random things about like, do you buy underwear because Michael Jordan has Hanes and all this other shit? And I was just
honestly,
like, there were people do that.
That's why they put him on the advertisement.
That's why they market those guys. I was just like, what are you talking about?
Literally a thing.
So then I just said, Eddie, why are you being a freak? You wanted to see my feet, now you want to see what underwear I'm wearing? I'm not down like that, okay? So that's where that went.
Oh my
if you missed
Eddie's
it all,
old school though.
if you missed it, you can go back and watch the show.
Yeah,
It's pretty
clearly
cool.
that's the one that you got to watch.
He also had a phenomenal, and I can't emphasize enough, a phenomenal Greek story about his time over in Greece playing basketball. Because there was a coach, Giannis Ioannidis, that passed away yesterday. He was his coach at Olympiakos, and he had a tremendous story about a black cat, and it was phenomenal. So you gotta go back and check that out.
I gotta hear that.
Absolutely. Also, make sure you check out our friends over at Wink. Wink is a seltzer with just a wink of THC. It's balanced, light, and social. So you'll be bubbly enough to work the room, but you'll be able to keep your wits about you. There are no third-party producers. Wink is made in-house with 0 calories, sugar, or alcohol, and it tastes just like your favorite refreshing flavored seltzer. They are available in either 2.5 milligram or 5 milligram cans, and you can find Wink right here in Arizona. Just look for Wink at all Sunday Goods dispensaries in the Valley and Botanica Dispensary in Tucson. They're now also in 12 states nationwide, and even recently launched online ordering and home delivery to about a dozen others. So to find the fastest way to get your hands on one, go to drinkwink.com, and that is Wink with a Y. Saul, do you have a parlay for us to put down this weekend for our pick on the BetMGM Sportsbook app?
I do. ASU fans are going to hate me, and I don't mean this with any ill intent. I promise you. I'm serious. Like, let me put my Wildcat hat aside, okay?
Okay.
I genuinely like the ASU football guys. Like Jalen, we've gotten close with Jalen. We've gotten close with Jordan Clark and those guys. I root for them outside of playing my team. Like I will never. And anytime they say something ill about the Wildcats, they can, go stick it where the sun don't shine. That's just how it is. But I do root for them to win their games because I want them to succeed. With that being said, they're only a 4-point underdog against Colorado, and I just don't see that happening. I feel like Colorado's going to score more. I feel like they're going to win the game, first of all, and I feel like they're going to beat them by more than 4 points. So I would take that as my first part of the parlay, Colorado plus the points. And I said yesterday that Arizona would definitely cover the spread against USC. They're a 21.5-point underdog. They're going to cover that spread. They're going to play USC tough. They got a lot of California kids. So that's my 2-team parlay.
All right. And if you want to put $10 down on that on the BetMGM Sportsbook app, you could get $200 instantly, regardless of the wager's outcome. So here's how it works. All you have to do is download the BetMGM Sportsbook app, sign up using the bonus code PHNX. You place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook app of at least $10, and you will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. So it's a win-win all around. So don't miss out. Again, that code is PHNX. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimers.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
All right, guys, we've been teasing this for a while, and the time is finally here. This is our schedule release party.
Let's go.
For the upcoming season.
If you want to come hang out with us this season and have a fucking great time, these are the ways to do it this year.
We're going to start by announcing all of our takeovers. So the takeovers are where we all go to a game together. We're going to meet up somewhere beforehand. We're going to have some drinks. We're going to have some food. We're going to have a great time. Then we're all going to go watch the game together.
Food and drink is always included in the cost of this. This year, all takeovers are lower level tickets.
Let's go.
So and there's There's one game where I think we're kind of in the upper part of the lower section, but most of these games are mid tier to lower. So they're fantastic seats. You're not going to be able to get an all-in-one kind of experience all at the same time for this price. So the first one is obviously Wednesday, November 15th against the Minnesota Timberwolves. You get to see Ant come to town, and that's going to be fun. Most of these takeovers will also be precluded will be at either the Desmond or Marley's. We have decided one of those two. We haven't decided exactly which ones will be which, but if you've never been to the Desmond, the food has been fantastic. It's going to be a great time. The second one is Tuesday, January 16th at 7 p.m. against the Sacramento Kings. The Kangs are coming to town in January. We didn't do anything in December because we acknowledge that the holiday season is upon you. And so maybe you want to buy that January 16th.
It makes a really good Christmas
for a Christmas gift. There you go. Valentine's Day with Monty, people.
Let's go.
Boy.
Here against Detroit.
Are we getting married to daughters?
February 14th. No, but I will give everybody a Valentine's Day card. How about that?
Damn.
Sorry. I had to.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
And then finally, last but not least, we're going to see my NBA side piece, the Oklahoma City Thunder, on March 3rd, a couple weeks later at 7:30 on a Sunday. It's the only weekend game that we have. And listen, we understand that costs, some of these are a little costly. That's fine. If you want to get all of them, you can save yourself about $50 by getting the season pass, which is $600. So,
and that is new.
Yeah, that is new. That's the first time we've offered that. This is first come, first serve. Everything will be live by Thursday. So go to gophnx.com. I'm sorry, by tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. You can go to gophnx.com, click on the events tab, and you can get after it right now. We sold out every single one last year. That'll happen again this year, no doubt. It's so much fun. Please come check us out. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Let's go, Planner. I can't wait to do this with y'all.
This will be your first time too.
This gonna be fun. Y'all gotta come hang out. This is gonna be fun.
And then you'll see in that picture too, one of our takeovers, Eddie, came and hung out and met everybody and said hello. So there's a lot of different bonuses that kind of come, perks, if you will. Plus, the season's just gonna be a blast to watch the Suns
for sure
play. So there's no better way to watch it than with a group of like-minded people, many of whom we've all become friends with here. And if you're new, this is a great way to meet some of the fellow diehards as well. That's
my favorite part is getting to know all the people that have been in these chats. Some of our diehards that we get to meet face to face. It's just a fun time. And listen, we're all here because we're Suns fans and we want to hang out with other Suns fans. And this is one surefire way. You're not going to sit next to some obnoxious opposing team fan. You're going to sit next to us.
Yeah.
Us lovely
and we'll
people.
take the ends if there are any crazies out there on the ends. We got you covered.
25 against 1 is usually a pretty good number. I like my odds.
Okay, Suns and 4 guy, calm down. Calm down. We also have tea parties, which are a heck of a lot of fun. So the tea parties are all out at Dobson Ranch in Mesa. And the golf course out there is it's a unique golf course because it's just like your normal golf course that you can play on. However you do golf. I'm not a golfer. But they also have bays that are basically like a top golf situation where it's just like a driving range. You just get to go out there and have a good time. And it's not as serious as real golf.
So a couple changes we're going to throw out, despite Lindsay not knowing what the fundamental rules
sounds
are.
like Chance talking about hockey.
I know.
Let's go do that golf.
Yeah, like what? So a couple changes.
Listen, I just don't like golf because you have to wake up so gosh darn early.
Okay, couple things about the takeover or the tea parties this year. The tea parties, yes, they're kind of a top golf type setting on the range, but they've changed their system. Okay. It's no longer a top golf kind of shot tracer pro is what they called it. They've changed their complete system. They got some new devices out from, I think, Norway or something like that. And now the gamification has gone to another level. So now we will be able to play like these games to like 21. There'll be games like it's a volcano game where basically you got to keep hitting shots until your volcano erupts. It's just a bunch of cool stuff. We'll do putt contests as usual, but this year we're going to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to make sure that everybody, no matter what your skill set is, has an opportunity to win putt. So there'll be 3 different challenging holes.
I love that for me.
And it'll be adjusted based on your skill level and stuff like that. So it's going to be a tremendous time. Plus, we are showing the games. The first one was the Philadelphia game. It is our first ever basketball brunch show. So we'll do a 9:30 show before they tip off at 10 o'clock. And we'll have breakfast out there. Again, these things typically come with free food and beverage. All you got to do is come and have a good time. So if you're not a golfer, it doesn't matter. You come out and you just swing the clubs, have a good time. We have a 3-point shootout too, because that's the most popular thing, I think. And we do a 3-point shootout. Flex is going to lose, definitely.
Who won that? Who won that the last time?
Who won last time, Gerald?
Yeah,
Who did?
Gerald
Who did it?
Gerald, you won?
Yeah, I won.
Gerald did.
All right, I'm coming, dog.
Yeah, all right. So
I can't wait.
it's a great time. And then the second one is against San Antonio. So please check it all out on our website.
Jason's got our tagline. However you do golf. I'm not a golfer. Is that what I actually said?
We need a t-shirt. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Blessings. But the tea parties are a blast. I have the most fun, I think, at our tea parties because it's such a chill, casual environment, and then them being outside is kind of nice too.
Yeah.
So you can walk around, you can mingle, you can just watch the game, you can do all the different things.
That one is not free. Again, I should reiterate, both the takeovers and the tea parties do come at a cost, but diehards, you get like 25 or 20% off on both. So that $150 price that you saw for some of those tickets is actually discounted to, I believe, $130 or $120. I can't do the math real quick, but it's significantly cheaper for diehards.
Yes. So
again, you buy 1 or 2 tickets, you probably could have bought a diehard membership and saved that cost and got a diehard membership. So check that out. Our tea parties are $40 for everybody or $30 for diehards, a little 25% discount. So it does pay off to be a diehard.
It does, literally and figuratively, because you also get access to our diehard only Discord and a bunch of other things that are a heck of a lot of fun. Also at these tea parties, really nice because a lot of our partners come out as well. So you get to know a little bit more about what they offer, sample some of the things. Our friends OGs have been out there a couple times with some flavor samples, so you can at least know what all the flavors taste like before you buy whatever one you want to kind of tap into. But they have some fantastic flavors, like the fruits, they've got red apple, watermelon, and peach. The creams, they've got blackberries and cream, orange creamsicle, and peaches and cream. And so it's really cool to be able to see all of them. And of course, just get to know about the products a little bit more because we tell you guys all the time how much we love them. But you got to try them out and see if you love them for yourself. So again, we highly recommend you check out our friends over at OG's Brands for yourself. You can try one or a few of their many delicious flavors. You can find them on social media at OG's Brands or online at ogsbrands.com to find a local dispensary near you. Just a reminder, though, you do have to be 21 or older, and we ask that you enjoy responsibly. Also, it's going to be so much nicer weather-wise. I'm so glad basketball is not a summer sport. We would not be able to do anything outside. At least with basketball, it's nice outside. I'd rather be cold than I would hot if I'm going to be outside. But the best part is that it's patio season, and that means we get to hang out on the patio at Illegal Pete's. And of course, they've got happy hour every single day from 3 to 8 p.m., which comes in clutch. And the food is absolutely delightful. The ambiance is great too. So make sure you check them out because Illegal Pete's is the go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer, and it has been for over 28 years. Okay,
Yeah.
So we talked about all of the takeovers and the tea parties.
I do have one thing to add.
Yes.
Okay. As always, this is a fluid situation. We reserve the right to add things as we see fit. We do know for a fact that there will be one more event, and it will be a paid event, but it might be the coolest thing we've ever done here. That's all I can really say until we close the deal, but we're about 110% certain we're going to close this deal, and then we'll announce it. But it's kind of a tea party, except
Different.
Okay.
But so fucking cool. I'll fill you in later.
Okay.
All right. So next up, we've got Watchalongs. So these are
Free.
free. Yay.
Just watch the game.
Yes. So Watchalongs are where after the pregame show, we'll take a little 5-10 minute setup break, and then we'll be right back here live on YouTube watching the game with you guys. And we'll kind of have a mix of who will be on all of these watch-alongs, but we have fun stuff like commentary for the games. We'll play some games. We'll have some trivia, some little nuggets and tidbits of information. It's just a great time to hang out for even longer. If you wanted an extended pregame show or an extended postgame show, that's it. This is it.
There you go. And here's the slate of games. Opening night against Golden State. The return of DA on November 21st. That'll be fun. I can't wait for those comments. December 1st, the rematch against Denver. It's our first rematch against the Dirty Nugs. And then December 13th against the Brooklyn Nets. You know who it is. The Twins are returning home, and everybody's going to be hyped about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Emo Jimmy coming to town.
Emo Jimmy.
Let's go, Emo Jimmy.
Jimmy Heat World.
So maybe we'll all dress up like Sadness from Inside Out.
Tonight will be the night that I will ball for you. That was my favorite one. Yes!
Ball out boy.
My favorite one. It was so good.
And then finally, in what I think will be a finals preview, March 14th against the Boston Celtics.
You guys, I cannot get over the Emo Jimmy lines. They're so epic. I can't wait to watch Emo Jimmy play. But these are blasts. So put those in your calendar, and we'll keep you updated throughout the season as well. Reminders when those are coming up so you can come hang out with us. And then watch parties.
For another free event, two free events in a row. The last one, watch parties. Here we go. So this is going to be a little different. November 15th, 8 p.m. in-season tournament. This one is going to be at Gila River Casino. So for those of you who don't know, we will be partnering up with Gila River out at Wild Horse Pass in their sports book. So come out. I don't know if you've never been there, you got to check it out because it's gorgeous out there. So there's that. And then if necessary, December 7th and the 9th for the in-season tournament, the Final Four and the championship game, we will also be doing a watch party. We'll see if myself or Gerald are there because I have a hunch he and I are both going to go out to Vegas for this thing. But everybody else will be there to have a good time. Sorry, Linz and Flex. And there you go. And then, and those are also at Wild Horse Pass. And then January 19th and February 10th, we were talking about New Orleans and the Golden State Warriors. Both of those will be at the BetMGM Sportsbook all the way out on the west side. And so, yeah, we got a little east side. We got a little west side. And
Central Phoenix when you come to the takeovers.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we got the entire valley covered. And these ones are going to be a blast. Like these ones are super chill. You come on out, you grab some food, you grab some drinks. Yeah, you mingle, you get to hang out. We celebrate together. We grieve together at certain moments at times too. Hopefully not too many this year, but those ones are fun. So keep those in your calendars as well and come hang out with us. Flex, these will be all of your first time for all of this.
Can't wait.
I'm excited for you.
And the Bar Scott voice. Can't wait. Like that's how I'm feeling right now.
And you can also wear your shades out to all of these events too, because we support wearing Shady Rays at all times of the day, inside or outside, because they are that good. We are talking about gear that is built to last. Premium polarized sunglasses. They are an independent sunglass company with a world-class products. And exclusively for you, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Just go to shadyrays.com, use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses so you can try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Also, if you want to have even more fun with your friends here at PHNX this season, you can join us on Splash Sports. So PHNX has weekly Pick X and NFL Survivor contests for everyone to participate in for real money. So here's how to enter. Just head to splashsports.com/PHNX. The link is in the description as well. And sign up. You deposit some cash, you get started. It's just $5 to enter either of them. And of course, bragging rights are on the line. So once again, just head to splashsports.com/PHNX to join in. We'll have different contests coming out. So we're super stoked to compete with and against all of you guys. So again, you can check the link in our description for more information.
Also, if you don't want to try to, corral all these events, if you go to our events page and you go all the way to the bottom, you can actually set it on your calendar on your phone, every event that we have. So that way, when you look at your phone, you can see what events we got going on, whatever day. So there you go.
There you go. All right, guys, we're going to round out our contenders conversation or teams around the league who might be a threat to the Suns today by talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. So we'll take a look first at their key additions and losses. On the additions side, they got Marcus Smart and Derrick Rose. Key losses, Dylan Brooks and Tyus Jones. And then, of course, we have to also add into here that John Morant is suspended for the first 25 games of the season. Just kind of an overall for you guys. How are you all feeling about the Grizzlies this season?
On the surface, it feels like they might put themselves behind the 8 ball pretty far before Ja gets back.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a well-coached team. Defensively, they're a very good group. So they've played without Ja before. They've succeeded without Ja before. So I would probably say as long as they can tread water, I think they'll be right up there in the top 6 of the West when Ja gets back. I think they'll be 12-13, 13-12 by the time he gets back.
Yeah, I think the Marcus Smart addition really helped them. I think, like, obviously Tyus Jones was one of the best underrated backups in the league the last couple of seasons with them, but they have been able to win at a high clip. And when you have Marcus Smart and Jaren Jackson Jr. on the same court together, that's hard to score on. Just having 2 recent defensive player of the years out there sharing the court is going to be tough. I feel like grit and grind is kind of back for this team a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see how they function offensively. Do they have enough shooting? Can Luke Kennard stay on the court? Because they need him and Desmond Bane to hit threes, especially with Ja's rim penetration not out there. I think they'll be okay for the first 25 games, but it's going to be interesting once he comes back. Like, he's allowed to practice with them, but can they reincorporate him? Can they, can him and Marcus Smart figure it out in the backcourt? That's going to be interesting to me. So they're one of my big question marks, because they could very well be a top 4 seed, or they could be a team that's, with the way that the West is, that's fighting for a play-in spot.
Yeah, I think they're top 6, and I actually think they're going to play better than people expect without Ja.
Mm-hmm.
I just do. I think Marcus Smart and having Triple J back there, like you said, you got a defensive player of the year on the perimeter, somebody on the back end. Luke Kennard and Desmond Bane shoot the hell out the 3 ball. And I think Derrick Rose is going to be a nice influence for that basketball team. Smart can do some things offensively. I love Desmond Bane. I think this is an opportunity for the world to see Desmond in a different light. I think he's one of the better young guards in the league. And they're, super well coached. I would not be shocked at all if they get through this 25 games and there's people saying, damn, do we really want Ja back? Like, I've seen it already. We saw a 20-game stretch where they went like 18-2 without Ja. That was with Tyus, but I just feel like they're going to be fine, and it's going to get scary. If they can get through that 25, it's going to get scary.
I think their major Achilles heel will be outside shooting, and I question whether or not they're going to be able to maintain pace with the elite teams in the West from the perimeter. I just don't know if they can. I really don't. If you're relying on Luke Kennard and Desmond Bane basically as your volume shooters, that's going to be tough, because teams are definitely going to key in on that. And then who else is after that? You know what I mean? If you're hoping that Derrick Rose and Jaren Jackson are going to nail fucking threes from the perimeter, you might as well go to fucking Cancun right now, because that shit ain't going to happen.
I do think a couple people brought it up in the chat as well. There are, like with Jaren Jackson Jr., the rebounding and the ability to stay out of foul trouble are still problems for him.
Yeah.
I do think, though, as someone mentioned, like playing next to Steven Adams helps him a ton in both those respects. But that is something to keep an eye on, because that defense is going to be tested in different ways, and they don't have the offensive firepower with Ja out that they normally have.
Yeah, well, just before the show started, Saul, Flex, and I caught up with...
Real quick, we do have a super chat we have to say right now.
We have to say it before? Can we say it after?
No, I think we got to say it before.
Nate
Dunn in the chat said,
sassy.
Didn't they shoot the movie Toy Story in Memphis?
They did. They did. It's a fact. It's a fact, Nate. Look it up.
I'm with you, Lin. Is that what he said? I'm with you. They trying to get us because of the Shrek thing.
I know. If you don't get that joke, you got to go back and watch.
Not funny.
What was it, yesterday's show?
Yesterday's show,
yeah. You got to watch yesterday's show to catch on to the joke if you're not in the loop. All right. Well, to give us a little bit more information about the Grizzlies and all of the question marks that we just brought up about them, Saul, Flex, and I chatted with Kelcey Wright Johnson, host and reporter for the Memphis Grizzlies, right before the show started, and here's that conversation. Welcoming in to the PHNX Suns podcast now is Kelcey Wright Johnson, host and reporter for the Memphis Grizzlies. Kelcey, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. How you doing?
I'm so excited to be here with you guys. You guys are two of my favorite people, and now it's going to be three. I can just tell.
Yes, there you go.
I love it.
We're
Thanks,
winning at
Kelcey.
life already.
Love it.
All right, Kels, not to start on a bad note here or anything, but of course, the elephant in the room, John Morant being suspended for 25 games to start the NBA season. Not the greatest situation for the Grizzlies, but how is the team kind of handling that suspension and just overall what the expectations are for this upcoming season despite that?
I think there were a lot of question marks, Lindsay, heading into like at least a media day about how much of an involvement Ja was going to have. And you obviously never want, like, in terms of how it was worded at the very beginning by Woj and the NBA, I guess it was like, hey, he won't be allowed at any team things. He won't be at training. He won't be at this. And then we got word on media day that he would be able to travel with the team. He was practicing with the team. He was at media day. He's now in training camp. And so it, one, alleviates the fact of like, we have all these new guys in and like, how is he going to be able to bond with these guys? Like come game 26, is he going to be in shape? Is he going to be in basketball shape come game 26? And I think that alleviates all of that. And then in terms of actually the team playing without him for 25 games, obviously, again, we have experience in that last year. I think he missed 20-something, 22 games last year. And of course, we had Tyus Jones, who in my opinion, and I think a lot of people's opinion, he was the best backup point guard in the league. And so we didn't have a crazy dip. It was just a different style. This year, I think it's going to be a little bit more by committee because, of course, Tyus is in Washington. I think Marcus Smart is going to play a big role in that. And I think it's just going to fall a lot more on guys like Dez and like Jaren. And I think they've had a lot of time to kind of process Ja was a leader on the floor, and they've had a lot of time to process like how that leadership looks differently the first 25 games. But again, I think having him travel and having him practice is huge because then although he's a leader and he's not able to play, he still has that voice. And I think Derrick Rose also said it best. He said at training camp, he said to Ja, I'm not here to babysit. I'm not here to, be the ops and like follow you around, but I am here to say that I've been in this situation. Like Derrick Rose has been through a lot, although he, youngest MVP, all this stuff before his injury. He also has had issues off the court that he now knows how to deal with. And I think he's going to be a really, really good mentor for Ja. And I think it's someone that Ja respects and looks up to. And so I think the first 25 games is going to be a big growing experience for Ja off the floor as well.
We talk about just the maturity of players and it can kind of come in spurts, and with Ja's development, adding Marcus Smart to the mix, and then you talk about, the other veterans that they have, including Derrick Rose. The one aspect of this that I think people are overlooking is that relationship maybe with Jaren Jackson and Jaren Jackson's own development throughout the last 5 years. What do you see in Jaren Jackson's role in this team, and how have you seen him evolve from year one to now going into year 6?
It's so funny to think about it because Ja is actually older than Jaren, but Jaren is a year ahead of him in the NBA. I think Marcus Smart is going to be huge for Jaren because although Jaren is Defensive Player of the Year this year, Marcus Smart was in that position as well, and they play such different defenses. Like Jaren is very much like, I'm going to block everything at the rim, and Marcus is very much like, I'm going to defend everything all over the court. And so I think they've come together, and it's been really cool to watch them at training camp. In terms of Jaren growing, it's again crazy because he came into the league at like an 18-year-old, like he was a child, and now we've seen him. He's grown into this man. He was an all-star this year. He was the Defensive Player of the Year. Not only that, but he has grown from like he was the youngest guy. And so he was looking up to the Marc Gasols and the Mike Conleys. And now I've seen him change into like, now he's mentoring Gigi Jackson, and you see him pull guys aside. And so, yeah, he's going into his 6th year. What do they say? You turn into a vet in your 5th year. I don't even know if he was like really considered a vet last year because he had Dylan on the team, but he might be one of the youngest vets, but like he is a veteran and he's putting that on his shoulders. I think him and Dez are going to be two of the more vocal leaders that we see this year.
It's wild to think that a 24-year-old is like the seasoned vet on the squad.
Right?
That blows my mind. Holy crap.
At least like a tenured Grizzly, right? Like obviously they have Marcus now and they have Derek who are going to be like the vets, but now he's, if not the most, he's one of the most tenured Grizzlies now that Dylan's gone.
That's wild.
Yeah. You talked about Tyus a little bit, and Tyus is one of my favorite players in the NBA. I do agree with you. He was the best backup point guard in basketball, had one of the best assist to turnover ratios in basketball, and I'm happy that he got the opportunity. But now without Tyus, you incorporate Marcus Smart and Derrick Rose. Now you kind of talked about it already. The mystery guy for me is Desmond Bane. Talk to me about Desmond Bane. He had the big extension. I'm fascinated with Desmond. I've always loved his game. I've loved his game since TCU. I thought he should have went way higher in that draft, and you guys got a huge steal. But talk to me about Desmond now with Ja not out, Ja suspended for 25 games. Is he primed to take that leadership role and kind of be that guy on this team right now with Marcus and Derrick Rose in the mix?
I kind of love that he's still a mystery to a lot of people, because I think for Grizzlies, he is 100% like the next guy. And now obviously Ja is the franchise player, and Jaren, with the accolades that he has, is a franchise guy as well. But I think Dez is going to surprise a lot of people, because I think he played, maybe 6 games last year completely healthy. So he had the toe injury, and then it was like kind of a repeat injury that he finally got to nurse and have the surgery this offseason. So he's feeling better. And still, take Steph out of it, Dez is like one of the most prolific shooters in the NBA, and he's obviously only getting better. And to agree with you, I think Dez doesn't feel like he should have been drafted 30th either. And he brings that up a lot whenever we play the teams that like passed on him.
Right.
So it's still funny. We're going into like year 3 or 4. But no, Dez is probably at this very moment the most vocal leader on the team. I think a lot of guys look up to him because his hard work is just, he's very much like I'm never going to say you guys need to do something that I'm not doing myself. And I think one of the stories with that and just how hard he works is there was a story going around about a player on the Grizzlies getting the same flooring that they have in the locker room or in the weight room into his very own home. And it turned out to be Dez, because he was so committed to like having the same type of workout, the same type of everything. And so I think that's just like a little tidbit to go like how hard he works. And so guys have started to look up to him just because of that. And I'm not comparing him to Kobe, but very much so how Kobe would work so hard that guys would have to respect him. He has that same kind of respect when it comes to his teammates. And now as he's getting older and older, he's getting more vocal and more confident. And I think it's going to be, especially without Ja there for the first 25, I think Dez is going to be probably the most vocal leader that we see. And I mean, we're just hoping that those 6 games that he was healthy last year, I think he was averaging like, I don't know, I'd have to go back and look, but it was something ridiculous, like in the 30s points. And so I think we're hoping for an all-star Dez this year. Also, I'm just going to point this out, he has a little nickname. I don't like it in Memphis, but they've been calling him Downhill Dez. Last season when he was playing Summer League, he's handling the ball a lot more, and that was one of his things that he wanted to work on this offseason, was continue to show that he's not just a shooter and to have a little downhill in his game. And so I think he worked on that even more this year, so he may even handle the ball a little bit more too.
Hope he worked on that upper body flexibility, because my man's a little stiff up top.
I'm a big fan of his, and I've heard stories behind the scenes about how dedicated he is and how much of a hard worker he is. So it's nice to hear you kind of set the tone and make that clear that these stories are true. And so I think he's primed for a big year.
Yeah, you don't get that buff without working hard, right?
That's right. Short arms, though. He got short arms. That's what they said, right? That's what they said. That's why he went 30. He said he had short arms. I think that was the stupidest thing ever.
That is the stupidest thing ever. As a man who suffers from T-Rex arms, I think that's stupid as shit. So, real quick, strengths and weaknesses. There's kind of a generic question, but like, what is this team's biggest strength, and what do you think is something to really be worried about if you're a Grizzlies fan?
Okay, biggest strength is defense. I think this team's going to be really good defensively. Adding Marcus Smart. Okay, so here's the thing. I was the biggest Dylan Brooks fan because I was friends with Dylan when we were teenagers all the way up. I think the only person that makes this team better than when they had Dylan was Marcus Smart. I never thought it was a possibility, but having Marcus Smart guarding the outside, having Jaren guarding the rim, and then having a big body of Steven Adams who's going to grab all the boards, I think defensively this team is going to be really, really good. I also think on the offensive end, when, let's say when Ja comes back, having two of the best shooters in the league, statistically wise, opening up the lane, like Ja is going to be dangerous as well. Those two shooters in Luke Kennard and Desmond Bane are going to be really difficult as well. I think something that Grizzly fans should be worried about. I mean, the first 25 games won't be easy. Not having your franchise player is not going to be easy. I think Grizzlies fans are still a little worried about Jaren's fouling. It was a big topic of concern last year, just having him stay on the court. And you saw that a little bit even in the FIBA game. Obviously, you have less fouls there, I guess, but it's a shorter game as well. But no, he fouled out of games there too. So I think you want to see that. I think you want to see him rebound a little bit more. Although Steven Adams kind of put that to rest at media day too. He's like, if Jaren's swatting every ball, he can't do everything. So I'm there to rebound. And then, yeah, I think getting Ja back, I think getting through the 25 games unscathed, and I think a lot of the worry is going to rely on Jaren. Although Jaren was an all-star this year, you want to see him as one of the franchise guys take another leap forward and stay on the court.
All right, Kelcey. So if the Suns and the Grizz met in the playoffs, what would that series look like, from your opinion?
Oh my God. You guys are going to have such an exciting year. It's going to be exciting, like no matter what. Obviously, I'm never, ever, ever going to back down and say that the Suns are going to win. But I think it would be a nice 7-game series. It's just for two teams that are so talented, and obviously the Suns are so stacked this year, they play, or they should, like looking at the personnel, such a different style of basketball. Don't you guys think? Like the Grizzlies are going to be very much 3-and-D this year, because they have 3-point shooters and they have good defenders. You guys are crazily offensive talented. Like I think it'd be a good series. I think it would be low scoring, weirdly enough.
I agree.
I could see that.
I agree. I think it will be low scoring.
What?
So I agree. No, I agree.
Both teams are putting
Playoffs
so much
mud.
emphasis on defense and being their identity, even though we know the Suns obviously offensively.
No, I agree.
I got 3 of the best scorers in the league.
I get that.
What are you talking about?
I still think in the playoffs you slow everything down. You playing mud. I mean, look at the Suns this year. I mean, we had offense this year, and we had some Denver games that were in the 80s in the fourth quarter. So when the playoffs slow down, they start working it up.
I was so mad.
No,
I disagree so much.
I agree, but
I just could
Kelcey,
see it happening.
Here's my thing. You kind of taking the easy way out here. You said 7. You said 7-game series, but who's winning?
Oh, you can't make her.
I'm messing with you.
No, you can make me say it.
Oh, you did say Grizz?
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to say Grizz in 4, but I just don't want to.
I respect it. That's an OG move. I respect it.
Listen, I mean, when do we ever count out our Suns? When do we ever bet against them?
Oh no, we're going undefeated this year.
Exactly.
Like, we're going through the whole league undefeated. I mean,
Yes.
is that even a question?
Come on.
And Kelcey, before you take off, is the jumper still wet?
Okay, so you want to know the honest truth? When I'm like, hear me
That
out. You
means
guys
no,
have 10
people.
When I go to the arcade, because I don't really shoot on real hoops anymore. When I go to the arcade and I'm shooting like the
Pop a shot?
game, oh my God, wet. But then I shot a shot at practice yesterday, just like everyone was gone and the ball came to me. I was like, my nails are too long.
Yeah.
So I want to say yes, but it's unconfirmed right now.
All right.
If you make it out here, I want to do the pop-a shot with you.
Yeah, that would be
done.
If you make it out here, I want to challenge you because you sound like you got a wet jumper there. So
Yeah, done.
okay,
Period.
Papa Shot is such a blast.
pop
I
a
love
shot.
that.
Let's do it.
Kelcey, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time, and we wish you and the Grizz the best of luck as long as it's not against the Suns this season.
I was about to say until that playoff series.
Exactly. We'll see you next time.
You're about to lie.
Fucking terrible.
And you can follow Kelcey on Twitter at Kel Wright. Give her a follow. She is a lot of fun. We love her for coming on and joining us for the conversation. All right, guys. So to put a bow on the Grizzlies, how are you feeling on the fear factor meter? From least worried to most worried, are you Beale Street, Elvis Presley, barbecue, or the itis?
I'm a little salty that barbecue's in the 3rd column because barbecue is goated, and it should be where Beale Street is because that's the best thing
listen,
ever.
here's the problem with this whole exercise, we never clarified like what is the good to the bad as far as the meter goes. So everyone has their own idea. So it has changed throughout this whole process.
It started off as the most scared thing was like the best or biggest, most prominent thing about that city. And then like the green was like a thing about that city, but not something that's like
that you would go visit.
That's scary or intimidating or as important as the other things.
Listen.
This is what happens when I'm not around for the fear factor part.
There you go, Gerald.
I brought those points up, but nobody ever wants to listen to me.
Oh, don't even. You're so
like, this doesn't
full
even
of
make
it.
sense to me, but you know what?
You're
it's
so full of it.
Despo and Lindsay just running the show, and I jump in the car and I just put my headphones in and I go for the ride, Gerald.
Okay.
That's
what I do.
Not at all.
That's exactly what
how
I do.
Blame it on
works.
Saul. Ben M in the chat. Blame it on Saul.
It's not how it works. But anyway,
That's real.
back to the question that was asked originally.
Right.
Of the fear factor scale from least worried to most worried, are you Beale Street, Elvis, barbecue, or the itis?
I'm probably Elvis Presley, even though, I mean, Elvis should be the most fearful because nobody ever wants to die on the toilet. So I would say Elvis Presley.
Bro.
So aggressive.
I thought you were going
always.
to make a shot about that new movie they're making, so that was actually
Oh,
not
you
as
mean-
bad as I thought it was
You
going to be.
mean the one where he's like, we
Oh
got to win this race?
No, not that one, but we're gonna
Yo, that
gloss
Elvis
right over
movie
that.
was fantastic, by the way.
Different one that they're making. I'm gonna go Beale Street, honestly.
Oh, wow.
I am just not. I mean, I think in a head-to-head matchup, the Suns theoretically might have because in the past years they've had problems with guys like Ja in particular that are fast, that get downhill, that attack the rim. But they're about as well suited this year, I think, between Josh Okogie, Jordan Goodwin, KBD to kind of contain on the perimeter as you could hope for. And we saw in the playoffs against the Lakers last year, like they just kind of got wrecked across the board. I don't know that Marcus Smart changes that. They're going to play great defense. I don't know if they have enough offensively. And the whole Jaw suspension, like they're going to have ground to make up possibly in the West. So I'm sorry, Kelcey. I love Kelcey, but
Jaw suspension.
You know what's funny about this basketball team is that I fear them more without Ja.
yeah.
I do. Always have. I just don't think that Ja is a winning basketball player. I don't. I don't. I'm not a big Ja Morant fan at all. I don't think he's a winning basketball player. I think there's reasons why they statistically have always played better when he's not around. And I don't think it's just Tyus Jones. I mean, he's good, but it ain't just Tyus Jones. So I'm not a big Ja fan, and I think that when the playoffs come, he does certain little things that is not inducive to winning in the playoffs, and that's why they falter.
Come
on, let's talk, baby.
I just gotta point out the obvious.
Talk to me.
I love you.
Okay.
You know this.
Yeah.
I can't help but look at you and think, damn, this is a light-skinned Jaws dad.
Oh man.
He got the glasses and everything, man. Jaws dad sitting courtside over here, man. Man Flex.
Yeah. T Morant, you call me
kinda
T
funny.
Morant? Oh man.
I'm not mad at that.
Flex Morant over here, man.
I thought you were going to say something about what he said.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna come
man.
at
No.
me.
Paul wasn't listening. All he was thinking in his head was, that's Josh dad.
To be
Damn.
fair, I thought that at the very beginning of the show, and I held on to it until this point. But hey,
Oh,
listen,
my goodness
I think that's wild of
gracious.
you to say that Ja's not really a winner, because I think Ja is. But yeah, it's a fair take to say that you're not afraid of them without him, or with them.
Yeah.
They've been good with him.
Yeah.
Without him.
Without him, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go Elvis Presley.
Okay.
Mostly because I do think the situation with Ja is going to be a little bit tough for them. It does help knowing that he can be around the team. We have practices and travel and whatnot, but it's a lot of ground to make up for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
That's gonna end up being a meme or T-shirt. T-Flex.
it's going to be in the
I'm
Discord
telling you,
in like
man.
10
Oh, you
minutes.
watch it. T-Flex. I'm already seeing. I'm gonna have little arms. Like,
T-Flex.
I'm telling you, man.
Flex.
Come
Somebody's
on.
gonna Photoshop you courtside at a fucking
Oh,
Why?
my
Grizz game.
goodness.
Why?
It's
Or
gonna be
somebody's gonna
fast.
put you right next to Shannon Sharp.
Nah, I don't want that smoke. Shannon's a big dude. man.
Shannon will mess somebody up.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you as always. So here is the schedule for the next couple of days. So we are going to be off tomorrow and Saturday because We'll be back on Sunday. We're going to do a post-game show for all of the preseason games. We will not be doing pre-game shows for preseason, just post-game shows for preseason.
Mhm.
So on Sunday, you watch the game, get excited with us, and then come join us for a post-game chat after that one. And then we'll give you the rest of the schedule for next week after that. But tomorrow and Saturday we'll be off. We will have a couple things posted on our audio channels and some extra stuff on our YouTube as well. So if you're just craving a little bit more Suns chatter, you can always find some more stuff on our YouTube. Until we see you on Sunday, you can give the show a follow on Twitter. You can follow me at Lindsay Smith AZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Flex at Flex from Jersey. Okay, we got to go. Somebody take us home.
If you really want to follow Lindsay on Twitter, follow her at LinLin.
Ahoy,
Oh,
hoy.
boy.
We all silly like the mayor.